Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the GabNet Tour bus. Today our tour will take us up and around the newly designed GabNet.net webpage. For your safety, please stay seated while the bus is in motion and enjoy your trip. Also, remember that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated. Okay, we're off. The first place of interest that we're going to pass on the top left, you'll see a rotating billboard of all of the great GabNet programs. Legend has it that legendary broadcaster Alex Bennett created this billboard to attract early visitors to GabNet and to lure them into his site. To this day, it's one of the top attractions on our tour. Up next, look over at the top right and you'll see the most recent video of Alex Bennett's Ramble. And if you're lucky enough, we'll see Alex interacting with the citizen panel. Always a tour highlight. Did I mention that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated? As we approach the bottom of the Ramble video, we see quick links to all the ways that you can connect with GabNet programs. Facebook Live, YouTube, TuneIn, Livestream, Vimeo, and the GabNet Roku channel. They're all additional stops that you can make if you choose to step off the bus. But remember, please tip your tour guide if you do, and then you can hop on the next bus. Here's another highlight on our tour. On the left side, you'll see GabNet On Demand. You can quickly access any of the most recent programs there. Clearly, a value spot on our tour because downloads are at no extra cost. Please give your attention now to the right side. Look at the complete tutorial on how easy it is to become a citizen panelist. By the way, if you're a Luddite, there's a phone number that you can use to dial in. Okay, we're nearing the halfway point on our trip. I certainly hope that you're enjoying it. Oh look, there's the convenient call Skype button that you can click on, which will automatically connect you to the citizen panel. So now we're turning down the center of the page. I don't want you to miss any of these attractions, so please pay attention. Up first is a link to the 24/7 feed. Now these are going to come fast and furious, so pay attention. Next is a quick note on how you can hear GabNet on Amazon Echo. Next, quickly coming behind that, and this is always exciting, a screen that shows Alex Bennett's Ramble when it is live, with a countdown to the next show. It's always fun when we pass and the show is live. We're winding down our tour of GabNet.net, but before we reach our final stop, it's important to note that there is a place for you to contact them with your comments. Let them know how you like GabNet.net and the GabNet programming. And with that, we wrap up our tour. Remember, as you step off the bus, to please be careful. And also remember that GabNet is talk like you've never heard or seen it before. Did I mention, please tip your tour guide?
Reasons why you tune into GabNet. Here's reason number 9, great celebrity guests.
So how many years is this now with Teller?
43, and that's 43 continuous. You can try to say Keith Richards and Mick Jagger go longer, but they take 3, 4, 5 years off. You know, even when they're together, they take the time off. Continuous, you know, no more than 2 weeks working apart.
Wow. And
like being waterboarded for 43 years.
GabNet. Reasons to listen every day. Log on to GabNet.net for more. GabNet. It's talk like you've never heard it before. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, this is the Ramble, and I am Alex Bennett, and this is her. Wait a minute. Yeah, this is the old ball and chain, as they used to call it.
So this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
So we have, this is
it.
I'll explain everything here. Why she's here instead of over there and so on.
And he's allowed me to come here before the half an hour.
Well, yeah, well, you had to,
Well,
I had stuff I had to do here.
Issues. They're called issues.
Issues. Yeah. How do I explain? I am so exhausted. I'm surprised I can even go on tonight, to be honest with you.
The show must go on.
Here's the problem that we have, folks. There is an asshole company called Microsoft. Throughout their entire career, they've been assholes, and they continue to be assholes. And they bought up, years ago, they bought up a company called Skype.
They own Skype?
Yeah, they own Skype. And when they took it over, it was actually a pretty interesting company, started by a bunch of kind of like hackers who wanted to put the phone company out of business. That was their
Really?
reason for doing it. And then they sold it to somebody else, and they couldn't get it going. So then they sold it to somebody else besides them. And eventually, Microsoft bought it. And Microsoft is not usually in the business of doing stuff that doesn't make a profit, because Skype, to this day, we're trying to figure out how they make a living, okay? Because you have a tendency to use it, and you use it for free.
Yeah.
Except unless you want to make some like landline calls, in which case that costs you some money, and that's how they make their money, actually. And I also pay for a phone line for this program as well. So here's what these assholes have been doing. I had Skype, and it was a wonderful program for doing. When I first started doing this program, I started saying to myself, let's move in a little closer just so I can look at you when I'm talking, okay? Anyway, so I wanted to do a call-in program, and I didn't know what I could do because I didn't want to use the phone company. Because, you know, usually what you do is you put in phone lines, and then you have 4 phone lines, and people call, and you go from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And I went, it's got to be a better way. And I found this thing called Skype.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. And I found what was really interesting about it is I could put like 10 people on at the same time, and hence we came up with the citizen panel. And I kept using this, and then we went to video, and I was able to take the picture of Skype and isolate it in a program I have here called OBS Studio, and then put that over the air. Well, all of a sudden, they decide to come out with Skype 8. Now, I don't mind if they want to improve their product, but improve your product. Don't just, you know, do the same old crap. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds right to me.
Yeah. Don't do something that's worse than the original. So it was working perfectly. It was wonderful. But all of a sudden, they want to create something for the kids out there, you know, who want their Snapchats and their ding. And they take it and they turn it into this piece of crap that is one of the worst programs that it's been my unluck to have anything to do with. It just is, to begin with, would you say I know computers pretty well?
You used to.
What do you mean I used to? Well, I mean,
life moves on.
Life moves on. I mean,
Yeah.
the technology becomes more complicated.
And faster and faster.
But when it comes to a program like this, which everybody should be able to use, including your Aunt Mamie, you know, it should be as simple and as intuitive as possible. Hey, I want to call Aunt Mamie. What's her Skype number? Oh, that's her Skype number. Click. Boom, there's Aunt Mamie. Oh, wait a minute, I want to bring in Uncle Bill. But how do I bring in Uncle Bill? I can't figure out how to bring in Uncle Bill. It's not that simple a program. The intuitiveness of the program is terrible, just terrible. So I have avoided going to it, and there have been people online who've been fighting this and coming up with ways of letting you still use 7.0, which made my life wonderful. Well, as happens every morning, or every couple of mornings, I get a call from Jack Bishop. Hey, Skype doesn't work anymore. I have to go to the new one. And I went online and I went, that's the bad news. You know, they're forcing us to go to the new Skype.
Well, you knew eventually that would happen. I mean, you were going around it for a long time.
I had to figure out what to do, okay? What to do, what I could do if it happened. One of which was I was just going to stop this program altogether. Okay,
and retire.
And retire, because it just seemed like it was too much trouble to begin with. I couldn't. You see, what happened was in the old days when you called me, when they called us, say Jeff would call, and on the line it would say add Jeff to the group, and you just click that, and there was Jeff. Could not figure out any way to easily take a caller who's just calling you and add them to the group. And we were suffering with that, especially Jack and I, with this and trying to figure out how to do it. All of a sudden, I noticed they've added something. Up at the top, when somebody's calling you, if you're already online with someone, there's a what do you call it? A camera, and there's a microphone, and there's an off, okay, button up at the top. What?
Do people really want to listen to
Yes,
this?
they do. Yes, they do, because they use Skype. They're going to have to use it to call this program. Well, on your second call, over to the left of these three buttons is a new button that pops up in gray. And that's to add someone to the group.
Where is it?
Well, you won't see it. In fact, I couldn't even, I'll talk about that. I had a hard time opening up Skype tonight because when I was open using Skype, it had a problem in that if I turned it off here, it turned it off for
everyone.
For what's his name? For Damien. And let's see, is he on or off? See, he left it on, so I'm on. Okay, Damien probably should have turned it off.
So you have to leave it on when you.
Well, look here. Look at the choices you have here: active, away, do not disturb, and invisible. So I got to hit invisible right now, so we won't get people calling us. But I mean, that's what Damien should have done, was hit invisible when he left. But you see, because we all use the same line for the shows, okay? I'm thinking now maybe having everybody have their own line and that's it, you know? It's the best way to do it. But, so that's just one little niggling problem we've got with this, where before I could just sign off of mine and it wouldn't affect what went on when Damien was on.
Gotcha.
Now it does, okay?
It's 10:15.
All right.
Well, I'm just saying.
Jeez.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're worse than Phil for making me forget what I was talking about.
Skype.
Yeah. Anyway. So that was one of the problems with Skype. There are several other major problems, but we managed to solve the problem of how you create a citizen panel. So if I didn't do video, I could still do the audio.
Good.
All right. Now the reason we're at a different camera tonight, we're actually on a different machine. We're on my Mac Pro tonight.
But look how crispy clear it is.
Well, I think it's always been crispy clear. It's just that monitor is different than this monitor, okay? But the reason why we had to go to this computer was that one, when I did what I had to do to get the Citizens panel on, used up so much CPU power. That's the central processing unit in your computer, and that's the brain. And if you use a lot of it up, it slows the machine down, and you get a message from OBS that says, hey, you know, you're using too much CPS, lower your CPS usage. I know, CPU usage. So, okay, so that...
Don't CPU me.
I'll CPU you. Anyway, so the problem was...
I like sitting next to you.
Yeah, the problem was... what was the problem?
Skype.
Oh, Skype, yeah. That I couldn't use that machine because I did not have enough power. This thing has like 64 gigabytes of memory and lots of power, and it only uses up a small amount of the CPU. See right down here where it says CPU? It's only at 9%. On the other machine, it was getting up around 80. Wow. Yeah, when I had all the stuff going. Because I also have to do something different. And you're going to see it tonight, and I'm going to have to try and do it as seamlessly as possible, but I don't think that's possible. We have to, and this is in order to get the picture from Skype. It wasn't like the old days where I could take the screen from Skype and run it through this system and let you see everybody on the citizen panel. Because this new Skype won't let you do, am I boring you?
It's just that time.
Won't let you do that. So I have to use a thing called NDI. And NDI was invented by a company I used to work for, New Tech.
Oh.
Yeah. And NDI, it manages to take everybody's individual call, and I can bring it into a little box in an NDI frame, as it were, and bring everybody in on those and make a whole page of people on the citizen panel. There's just some small problems with that.
Can we fast forward?
Well, no, there's just some small problems with that. And that is that I have to, in each one, I have to go in here and I have to say who the person is and then put their picture in there and then put them on. Then the next person, I have to do the same thing. The next person, I have to do the same thing. I can only get upwards to 8 people on at the same time.
This system.
I can, to get them on screen, I can get 25 people on
but
Skype, but I can only put 8 of them up. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. And
I'm just getting over a cold. Alex. Do it in that direction.
I don't have a cold.
I'm just getting over.
Well, maybe you
cold.
gave it to me.
No, just sneeze in the other direction. Jesus, I've been sick all week.
Maybe you gave me your cold.
Maybe, I doubt it.
I think you did, probably. Yeah. I would say there's a good chance you did.
I'm going to bed.
Look at that. See me sneezing there? You can see that on the screen.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, where are we? Oh, yeah. So, anyway, where were we? What was I saying?
Skype.
Oh, Skype. So, anyway, so tonight is going to be an experiment in trying to see if I can get you guys on screen and have a nice discussion and not go really crazy.
I would open up the boards.
They're not ready yet because they don't listen to this first half hour. So we have to keep talking.
I'm not talking.
How was your week?
I've been sick all week.
What do you mean? What have you been sick
I've
from?
been having a
Where'd
cold.
Where'd you get a cold
You got
from?
snot on your nose. Stop it. I have a cold. Can't you hear it? It's on its way out.
Also, because of this camera,
So glad you're interested.
This camera, I had to change the lighting in here. You notice it's not as lit as it was before,
yeah.
Because what happened was that we got a light up here, and this light, if I turn the light up,
It's too bright.
just really blares back there. So I had to clear that up, and then we were running with less light.
It's better for the texture of your skin.
Yes, but it's putting me to sleep. It's too moody.
Definitely putting me to sleep.
It's too moody. Anyway, so your week was being sick.
Well, it's also, I worked hard this week. We're moving. And, you know, when you move, it doesn't matter whether you're moving around the corner or to California. I mean, a move is major, especially for an office.
Yeah. So you're moving to?
Around the corner.
Just around the corner.
To 410 Park Avenue.
Wow. Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to go see our friend Jack. Jack's in the hospital.
I'll meet you there.
How's he doing?
Not that good. They haven't released him yet.
He's been in there for
a couple of weeks. Oh,
boy. You know, that's I sometimes say to myself, why did I get myself such an old friend at this time of my life? Because I was only going to, have the pleasure of him for a short amount of time. I'm hoping he goes on till he's 90-something.
Well, it's like my friend Arthur.
Yeah.
You know.
Your friend Arthur went at 92.
94.
94? What did he say? He said, I'm going to have...
He used to say to me, I've got
talk
three good years and 3 bad years. It started out with 5 good years, 5 bad years.
Yeah.
And then I got 3 good years, 3 bad years.
Yeah.
The thing that did him in, he broke his hip, had a hip replacement, but was too lazy to go through the PT. Yeah. So he spent the rest of his life, the last 4 or 5 years of his life, in a wheelchair.
So that's, wow, that's not fun.
No, but he had help.
Fun at all.
He had help.
Yeah.
He didn't have to get up and wheel himself.
Yeah, well, you know something? Maybe it's better if you have a heart attack and just die.
Yeah.
It is so painful to go see Jack because I love the man. I truly love him, like he's my father, and I go to see him, and it's very painful. And if you just die, you just have a heart attack and die, then you're not going through all of that. Also, the people around you don't have to put up with the crap, you know.
Yeah.
And like that. So, anyway. Well, you know what I could do? I could open the lines.
That would be great.
I could open the lines, and then I could potchkey around with trying to get these people in there.
Call in
the picture. Let me see here. First, I have to open up the line. There, active. Oh, it's active now. You can call us if you want to. The lines are open, and that way I don't have to talk to her.
And I can go to sleep.
You know. So it's still Gabnet Live, like you've always called. Just go to Gabnet Live and call it. Don't call anything else. Just the thing that says Gabnet Live on the side, and.
We just celebrated our anniversary.
We celebrated our, what is this?
8 or 9.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we're waiting for somebody to call here. The lines are open. Yeah. There is somebody right there. Scott Boddicker is the first person to call.
All right, Scott.
So let's bring Scott in, and then hold on a second, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
I'm sure you can hear us, right, Scott?
Yes.
Yes. See, and we can hear him
good.
Too.
Look
okay,
how crisp
and
clear he is.
Jeff Stein is calling
All
too.
right,
let
Jeff.
me do him as well. Okay, now I've got to. Oh God, I screwed up.
Isn't that Scott right there?
Yeah. Well, no, that's not Scott right there. Is that me? Is that me? What is
Not
that?
this space.
What is that?
No, in the top right, there's that. Double click it.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it was. See, I've got a couple of things wrong
Josh
here.
Wheeler.
Okay, let me hang up on you and call back again, Jeff. I know what to do.
Everyone.
And the same thing with well, no, stay where you are, Jeff. I screwed up. Here's what I got to do. There we go. And then we bring in. Let me see here.
There's Charlie.
There's Charlie. Okay, and all right, and then I got to bring in Ray Renati. Okay.
Oh, everybody's
all right.
calling in
yeah,
tonight.
everybody's calling, and
here's Ray.
Sibby Itty.
Hey, there she is. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, Sibby Itty.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, now I've got to go here and start putting people in here.
Do you just pull it down?
No, I can't.
just
It's not
asking.
that easy. First, I go to Charlie Wallace. I'll put him in there. Okay. And then let me see here. Well,
There's
wait a minute.
Josh.
Here we go. Wait a minute. Why isn't that Josh Wheeler? Okay. Yes, add him to the group.
They're all up there.
Huh?
They're all up there.
There we go. I know. They're not all there at the same time, though. Now, Phil Meyer is calling. Let me add him to the group. Okay. Phil is coming up. Okay. Now I've got to.
What's he
Hold
sitting
on.
over
Will you
there
just
for?
don't talk to me right now. Don't talk to me right now. Let me just try and get this thing going here. First of all, where is Scuba Diver 175? Okay, now is that there we go. Okay, then on the second one, I got to put this guy up. Let me see here. Let's go to Stein. Okay, there goes Mr. Stein. Okay, there he is. All right. There we go. Let me see here. Let me see here. Let me put on my glasses. It would make my life easier. What people do we have here that I don't know yet? Here we go. Come on. Double click, and you see what I'm saying, folks? This thing is really. What's
Josh Wheeler?
Oh, Josh Wheeler. Let's put Josh up there. Okay. All right. And I'll turn him on. And there is Josh. What is that?
That's you.
That's me. I don't want that.
I'm going to say good
Okay.
night.
Good night. Okay.
Good night,
all
everyone.
right.
Good night.
Everybody,
Good night, Marjorie.
everybody,
Love your hat.
everybody can see what we've
Mark.
Bye.
what we've done so far here. Wait a minute, hold on a second.
I'm not a tech person.
There we go. If I show you the screens, folks, there we go. You see, they're all there.
Yeah.
But I've got to do some work here because I still got more to put up. Let me see here. This has got to. Let me see here. Who haven't I put up? Do I have Charlie? No. No, I don't have Charlie. Okay, Charlie Wallace. Okay. Usually, you people would be calling a lot sooner. A lot slower than this, but you did it really fast and really fucked me over tonight. So,
yeah,
you know,
I went into the kitchen figuring I had 6 minutes, and all of a
okay,
sudden,
who do
boom.
we have? Sibby Itty. What is your screen name, Sibby? I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
You might be muted.
That's my name. CBD. Let me just mute the YouTube. It's playing on the side.
Okay, hold on a second. Now I gotta go get another
Sibby,
source
what happened
here.
to you for the last 2 years?
For me, busy with work. I had a child, and things changed. But I've been watching you on YouTube lately a lot, and I feel like you guys have been ganging up on Phil a lot. So I just came to support him.
Let me see here.
I oscillate between being a liberal and a conservative. I'm somewhere in the middle, so there are policies from both sides that attract me. So, and it's a very healthy discussion. Whenever
Let me see here. Ray Renati. Where's Ray Renati?
I'm here.
Ray, what's your online thing? Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
I think it's Ray Renati.
I don't know.
Hold on a second. What?
I don't know what it is.
Oh boy.
It's the only time we ever use it.
Oh, let me see what this looks like then. What is that? Gumba 61.
That's me. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
That's you. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. All right. You see, this is a real problem for me. It's really slow going. It probably would be faster if everybody didn't call it once, but everybody went and called it once. So, But here's the citizen panel so far, ladies and gentlemen. There they are. Okay. Let me see here.
Alex, I can't see you.
1, 2, 3, 4,
you can't see me? Oh, I know why you've got that problem. Hold on a second. Let me go here. Let me go to Skype. Let me go to preferences.
I can see
Let me
you
go
on
to
YouTube.
audio video. I know what the problem is. I got the wrong cameras up.
Is this because of the new Skype?
Huh?
Is this all because of the new Skype?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me just go back here and get the camera, which is...
You've got everybody up now, and you're on YouTube, Alex.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to find that other camera that I dropped back here. That's not...
Yeah, I can't see you on Skype.
I know. We'll be taking care of that in a moment if I can ever find the goddamn camera. There's the camera.
Yeah, you're there. You just got to adjust.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. We're coming up. God damn it. Okay, can you see me now?
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, you can now see me, everybody. Yeah. Okay. This is, in case you just tuned in, folks, this is professional broadcasting going on here. And it's amazing. Let me see here. Let me do a few things here. I gotta clear up a few of these. For instance, Sibby is smaller than anybody else, so we get him the same size as everybody else. There we go. Okay.
I think Charlie is smaller too. Charlie's screen.
Huh?
Charles' screen is smaller too. I mean, it appears smaller to me here.
No, it's
the same.
It's a little smaller. It's a little smaller. Let me just see. I mean, that's what I have to do. Phil, who is a really good guy, whether you want to realize it or not, was helping me today play around with this and get it going. That was...
Yeah, we discovered by mistake how to add people to the panel.
Yes, exactly. So, I can make all these people actually bigger. you know, because who knows if we're gonna have many more people tonight. So.
I'm already pretty big.
Huh?
I could lose some weight. I'm already pretty big. Just leave my picture alone.
But I just like to have these things a little small, a little bigger, you know, so that they can.
What if you get 8 people calling?
Well, then fuck them. You know, if I get 8 people calling, I can fit 8 people in here. It's what I can't fit in here is I can't do more than that. If I go to a larger size on people, which I'm doing, because
if you made your picture a little smaller on YouTube, could you fit a 3rd row?
No.
All right.
No. I mean, if I kept it as small as you're looking at it now, I could put 12 people on there. Okay.
Oh, you could.
But we don't usually have that many people anyway, so why do it? You know.
So you could put a 3rd row.
I could put a 3rd row, yeah. If I made them smaller, yeah. There we go. Now I'm going to make everybody a little bit bigger so that you can see them bigger. Okay, there they are. See, it took a while. It took about 7 minutes of this program to get this thing going, and we got room for 2 more people if anybody else wants to call. Anyway, and all I can do is look at you guys on a small little screen. So I'm not, you know, I'm going to do a few things to clean this thing up a little bit.
Now, are you able to take one of the one of the guys and make them full screen? Should you want to show what it is that they're doing, like in the days when you'd look at Hawaii?
Before I could double click, and I could do that. I can't do that now. But you know, if I wanted to, I'll show you in a moment that I can. I just make it big here, and but it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah. So is your Skype got the little bubbles in it?
My Skype, I don't care about it. I'm not. Yes, it has the bubbles.
It
has the bubbles and everything.
Does it look like our Skype?
Yeah, but it you know, there now that's nice. That's nicely laid out. You know, yeah, I don't know. I'm just what was the question you asked? I'm so busy with these things. Yeah, go ahead.
It's just does your Skype basically it looks like our Skype. Are you seeing what's on YouTube on your screen? Because what's on YouTube is delayed.
I'm seeing what's going out to YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see it instantly.
Yeah. Okay. Now I don't know, folks. Does it sound better than it usually is? I don't know.
I don't know what microphone. Are you on your main mic?
I'm on the main mic, but I'm you know, I mean, I'm using the. The audio is going through the board, and I was playing the music through my PC, but this is my Mac. And the reason I'm using my Mac is because it has the power where before, when I was using OBS on the PC, and then I was using putting all these pictures in using NDI, which is the program that puts the pictures in there. Guess what? Yeah, I was using up something like 70% of my CPU power. Do you know how much I'm using right now?
I heard earlier, 9%.
9%. 9%.
See, somebody does listen to your first half hour.
Yeah. 9%. 9%. So, I mean, it's a much more powerful machine, but But this whole thing of, if I could just set this up and then it was very easy to do, but even though I have these pictures where they are, it doesn't hold everything in its place. I wish that these things would just say, okay, this is what we're using. This is the way the picture's supposed to be. They're supposed to be this size and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, it's not to be, So, it causes a little bit of a problem to me.
I like the way this new one looks on YouTube.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Well, I'm glad you like it.
So classic Skype doesn't work anymore?
Huh?
I couldn't get it to work. Classic Skype doesn't work anymore?
Oh, you know what I also had? I also had my Echo on there for a while. Let me make sure that's off. Okay, well, I'll do that later. Anyway, what were you saying? What was the question you asked, Ray?
Does the classic Skype not work anymore? Because I couldn't get it to work anymore.
The classic Skype doesn't work anymore. No,
yeah,
not,
okay, good.
not for the moment. If I could go back to it, I would. You know.
Yeah, I couldn't find one yesterday that worked. I downloaded a few, and then none of them worked.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're all. Yeah. There are some guys out there who are like hacking it and doing things like that, and maybe somebody will come up with a hack. But so far, there is no hack. It's just I'm the only hack around here, you know. So, and by the way, I think you can all decide what pictures you want to have on your particular screen, if I'm not mistaken, by
in the Skype.
Yeah, go down and drag people down into the thing and so on. It doesn't affect me here because what I'm picking up is each of your individual calls, okay, that are showing up in these squares. So
you know, I've already been dragging people into the gutter.
Well, you know, I mean, like maybe Josh is talking and you want to see him, and he's not there. You can bring him down into your thing. You know.
I think that that your video that's going out to YouTube, your camera is really clear.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks more high def, all of them.
Well, this is going out using the new computer, which I think probably has more power to do all the things I want it to do. It does. I'm looking over at it, and it looks terrific, you know. Mm-hmm. But if on a normal night, you'd call in, and now all of a sudden you're smaller. For some reason, you got smaller. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well,
let's add.
You've only got 3 across.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why you suddenly got smaller, but we'll get you bigger again. There we go. Okay, people, you're going to have to see things changing a lot when we're doing this show. Let me see here. Did we bring in Vernon Nunn? I think we did. Yeah, let me go find him. Let me see here. Vernon Nunn. There he is. Okay, Vernon Nunn. There we go. Oh, now all of a sudden, Sibby Itty gets bigger. I see. That's what I don't understand. And you got bigger again.
You can actually drag the screens whichever you drag to whichever side.
I don't know why this happens like this. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Oh, I see. No, Sibby, this is an ancillary program. It's not Skype that we're seeing through the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look.
It's NDI.
I'm gonna have to look up why this happens and how you stop it from happening. Let me see here. There's Vernon now. Okay, hi Vernon. And
Sibby went back to
Sibby
normal
went
size.
To being small size.
It's going back and forth actually.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe if I just kept them all that small, I wouldn't have any problem. But anyway, and then I also want to, I like to have this so that the okay.
But Vernon is very small.
Yeah.
Huh?
Vernon's picture on the YouTube. It just opened up.
Right. I just opened it up. For some reason, Sibby, every time I turn somebody else's, Sibby's changes. I don't know what it is, but
it's just going back and forth.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should have everybody be small, and then there it goes again. Oh, wait a minute, or did I? No. There, I changed them. Okay. Everybody is, I make everybody. We can take one more person. That's it. Hi, Vernon.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm trying to see you. I don't see you very well. There you are. Okay.
There I am.
You're a little overmodulated.
Yeah, Vernon, you're a little overmodulated.
It has to do the automatic adjustment, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, so where are we? This is the little adventure, and I hope everybody loves. Sibby, you keep getting smaller. I don't know what this is. Jeez Almighty! Let me lock.
I'm shrinking.
Let me lock Sibby's pic. No, I just locked Sibby's picture.
That's it.
And let me bring Sibby in again here. Let me look at his picture. and oh, this is just ridiculous. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Sibby, get you smaller again. Got to bring you down to size, and then I'm gonna lock you in, and I think you probably maybe won't change now. Let me see if I've got it locked on, and Phil, I'll lock you on, and let's see if that doesn't change anything. Look who got smaller, Jeff. See. Am I going to have to be doing this all fucking night long?
I would ignore it.
Huh?
I'd ignore it unless it covers somebody up.
Well, let's see here now. Let's see if, since I locked those in, let's see, those 4 of them are locked in. Let's see if they just stay the way they are. Who knows? Anyway, where are you going right now, Ray?
I'm walking down the street in Palo Alto, Lewis. Just walking the doggy.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah. And has she pooped yet?
No, but I got the bag ready, and when she does,
let us know when she poops, because that makes great broadcasting.
Well, last time she pooped, I think the numbers went up.
I think so.
We have to do like a Safeway thing again soon, or
Yeah, right.
Like we did before.
Yeah. Well, that time we got you in trouble with your wife because we had
That's
you,
okay.
when
That's
she
okay. It's worth it
when
for
you
the
got
15 seconds of fame.
You got her flower for Valentine's Day, literally gold medal flower. So
that was great.
Yeah.
You know what? I had somebody from a completely different website send me a message because they saw it. They saw that.
Really?
And I straight up.
Oh look! All of a sudden, Charlie is huge. Look at that! Look at that!
I didn't do anything.
I know you didn't do anything. Has nothing to do with you, Charlie. Don't blame yourself. And
did you lock Charlie's picture?
No, but I did do Josh's. But look, Josh is smaller now.
Yeah.
I have no idea how you can prevent that from happening.
There's no window line between Josh and Jeff.
Well, there is now. There will be in a moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's what I said. Look, all of a sudden, Charlie gets huge. So I don't know how you prevent this from happening. I don't know what you do in the program what little thing you flip or whatever that prevents.
Does NDI have any help?
I don't know. I'll look it up. Well, there's got to be an answer. Somebody else has got to have the same thing going on with that. But I'm so spending time trying to get everybody the right size and in the right place and so on, that it would just be nice if I could say, okay, now I've got my citizen panel and I don't have to worry about anything else. But apparently I do. So.
Oh, it's right now.
Boy, you're wearing your NRA hat tonight, right?
Yeah, I figured.
Well, that's why I thought I'd wear this. Yeah.
God. Celebrating the death of children.
What? Oh, you're breaking up on us, Ray.
Celebrating the mass shootings of children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Ray.
I'm gonna go off in a minute and go on my computer. Okay.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, when you call back, your square will be waiting for you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You never know.
We're trying to figure out exactly how this works tonight, folks. If you just joined us, do we have any? Oh, look, we have a lot of listeners too. They love to see us fail. They love to see us go through. There we go. Sibby is like. Sibby is like. Let's see here. You're number 4, right, Sibby? No, you're not 4. What? 4? There we go. Wait a minute. Which one is Sibby? Oh, there he is. He's number 5. For some reason, I've got him in the wrong place. But I'll change all that. Number 5 and number 4. Number 5 and number 4. I got to change these guys around into different places. I'll move Charlie over here, and all of a sudden Phil is smaller. I'm just going to let you all get smaller.
All this bigger, smaller stuff is getting me kind of excited.
Small doesn't. If it gets smaller, it doesn't really matter, because it.
Well, if they all got small, I think I'd probably leave them that way,
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, and Sibby, we're moving Sibby over here. There we go. Oh,
that'll let you put more people on if you keep it that size.
Not that size.
The Sibby size?
The Sibby size? No, the Sibby size is the right size. But now you're
okay. You got it back.
Okay. There we go. Now, Phil.
Maybe Sibby is that small. Sibby, are you like really small?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
5'11".
Anyway, let me just.
Tom thumb size.
Yeah. Anyway, Charlie, you're number 5, right? No, you're number 4.
I have no idea.
You're number 4, and Ray is number. Let's see here. He's number 6, and Sibby is Sibby's bored. Did you have anything you want to talk about, Sibby?
No, wait, politics. That's all I want to talk about.
Oh, okay. Well, what about politics? What is it something? Is something here that will piss off Phil?
No, I actually came in to actually support him because I never thought that Trump is gonna give me the things that I was looking forward to, but he did.
Like what?
Well, first of all, the wall thing is, I think it's a gimmick. I absolutely believe it's a gimmick. He knows that too, but you know what? That's a promise he made. At least he's trying to keep the promise. How many times have we seen politicians who make a promise and then they say that was then, now the reality is different.
Right.
So for that, I at least admire him that he's giving, red meat to, his base, which is good. That's fine. They're the one who voted for him, and whatever they deserve, he's trying to at least give it to them.
Yeah.
The tax cuts, even though it was crumbs, but it was still something,
Right.
Any extra money definitely helps.
Right.
And I think, the fight that he's taking on with China as far as the trade is concerned, I like that.
You like it?
I definitely do like that, yes.
Well,
because there's no one, because China is not our friend. It's never been our friend. And I always was worried about the fact that how is it that all the American factories and technology, all the stuff is being moved over there.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what? What if tomorrow Shinpei says, okay, leave it. You have to leave in 24 hours. We're not going to carry our technology out. We're just going to carry our briefcase and leave.
Well, that's not going to happen, though, Sibby.
No,
it happened before.
The same way.
It's not going to happen now.
Good, Alex, you said that. The same way. They all talk about the trade deficits, that it's going to be billions of dollars every quarter and all that. China is never going to say, pay us that money. No country is ever going to say, pay us that money. Just like the $3 trillion that we wrote off for the Citibanks and the Wells Fargos of the world. Yeah. It's just going to be written off. It's just a number.
Right.
The bill is never going to come due. It's just a number.
Right.
It's, think of it like this. It's not like a scare, like an object which is scarce in nature that you only have so much of it left.
Right.
That, if you don't give me, then, I'll die.
Yeah.
It's just a number. How many of us, we get paid, every month, every 2 weeks. We see numbers come in our bank, numbers leave our bank. We never see the actual money, it's just numbers being moved around. Yeah. So I believe that whole thing about this, trade deficit and all that with China, that's a big, hogwash. So, you were asking me what the things that he did. So these are the 3 things that I think, I like that he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, his support for Israel and standing with, even though Netanyahu is not the guy I would trust, but at least he is for his people, And, and I know that, being in the Middle East for some time, I have seen the hatred that the Middle Eastern people, especially the Muslims, have for Jews. I have seen that. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the look that they give. Most of the delis are small stores that you walk in when you're buying stuff, for 5 dirhams or something, little things. They all keep a small box next to it and says, funds for Palestine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they give you change, say, you know, there's something called something for four dirhams and 50 fils. So they give you 50 fils back once you give them 5 dirhams. I'm talking about UAE.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take that change, they're expecting you to put that change in that box.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I take it and put it in my pocket, and they look at me like, wow, you are anti-Palestine. You know, that kind of a look, you know, I've seen that, you know. So when I feel that, you know, Israel being such a small country, you know, it could be insignificant for many parts of the world. You know, they don't care about Israel, but I think Americans owe a lot to Israelis and Jews, specifically, you know, the advancements that they have done in science and technology and contribution. Even, you know, even if you were to take the whole religious part out,
Mm-hmm.
I think as a nation, it's been a very big contributor to the advancement of human beings. For that itself, you know, I believe that you should stand with Israel, not for anything else.
Well, I happen to be Jewish.
I know,
and I'm not pro-Israel.
I know you're not.
I never have been. Never have been.
No, I know you're not, but Alex. But the thing is, you know, we talk about a small nation being oppressed, and you know, so much. I haven't seen so much hatred towards a race of people as much I have seen for Jews.
Well,
it boggles my mind.
My argument has always been to other Jews. So what is it we're doing that's pissing people off?
You know, the Jews are the closest ones right now. But if you look around the world and you look at what's going on between Christians and the radical Islam, whether it's in France or other countries that are starting to get larger populations that have a lot of radical Islam in it,
yeah.
There is hatred for them too. It's just that the Jews are the most convenient because they're right next door. You know, and the funny thing is, it was when the Ottoman Empire fell and the English and the French took over. You know, Jordan was formed, Syria was formed. But basically, the tenets of Israel.
Okay, enough of that bullshit.
Well, why, if they're all formed at the same time, why does Israel not, you know, count?
Here's my point. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect of Islam when it comes to the question of Israel? Okay, because they literally were thrown out of their homes and out of their land to make way for this country, and so there's an animosity that was created at that point, and nobody ever did anything to try and not. Let me finish.
All right.
Don't give me a what about. We're talking about the creation of Israel and the kind of animosity that it created, and it's an animosity that has not lasted 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. It's lasted since 1948. And you're going to have a hard time getting rid of that animosity. Yes, Phil.
There are the haves and the have-nots, and right now the Palestinians are the have-nots and the Israelis are the haves. Now, if the other Arab nations that surround Israel and the Palestinian people were to help the Palestinians, instead of using them as pawns to lob missiles into Israel, why not help them? Give food, hospitals, medical, you know, water, desalination plants. If they were to put the money into that rather than missiles to foster their hate, then maybe there would be two halves and not one have and one have not.
Well, I mean,
and that's why the animosity is there.
I don't think it has to do with having and have not. Okay.
I don't think they care what flag flies over that country.
I don't think that's the point. I think the point was they were displaced from their homes and from their land, and that created an animosity which has lasted since 1948. I mean, Josh, you look like you wanted to say something, or was it just you had to cough?
The Israelis gave land for peace, and how did that work out?
When, you know, remember, Alex, I think maybe it's 10 years ago or something, you know, when Israel withdrew from the West Bank, and, you know, they had the greenhouse that they had created where they were they were growing crops, which was feeding a large amount of population.
Yeah.
And I watched the video of them as they left. These Palestinians come in, they just destroyed the whole greenhouse. It's like years and years of research and development that they just left it for them, and this is what they did. All they want is to just, it's always
who did this? Was this
the Palestinians? The Palestinians.
Yeah.
All they want is to live on the as a victim. You know what I mean? That we have been oppressed. We have been oppressed.
I don't know that.
Look at Saudi Arabia. They are washing in, Alex. They are throwing money away like anything. The only place in the world where I have seen Ferraris parked on the side of the road, left abandoned for months.
Yeah, but my question is, what have we done or the rest of the world done to recognize, for instance, the plight of the Palestinians was terrible. I mean, what was going on with them. And
Alex, you can give them as much money and support you want.
Yeah.
But when a whole generation of children are being born who have been fed only one thing in their mind. Okay, let me not talk about.
Well, no, look. You have, but what I'm saying is, you had that hatred that was created in 1948, and then it was maintained over the years by the generations that followed them.
It was created long before 1948.
No, well, it was created by the fucking
hatred. The hatred was
created.
Yeah, but you know where
that part of the world, those two groups of people, got along beautifully until what's his name came along, the British guy.
You talk about Balfour, but
Balfour came in and created the real dissension. Up until that time, Jews living in Palestine and Israel, in that area, didn't even really consider themselves to be Jewish, but something else, because they lived in that land, and they were accepted by the Islamic peoples very nicely. They lived side by side, Phil.
So you have to give up your Jewish identity in order to live side by side with the Palestinians?
No, who says you have to give up your Jewish identity? They never gave up their Jewish identity.
You said that's when they
No, they created a newer Jewish identity based upon their geography. Based upon who said that? Vernon?
I said before the creation of the state.
Yeah,
they were still Jewish, but they didn't have they weren't affiliated with a state called Israel.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah,
isn't that what you were trying to say, Alex?
Well, what I'm saying is they lived in that part of the world, and they considered themselves to be as Jews, but they considered themselves to be a different kind of Jew than, say, the European Jew.
Okay, they were Sephardic.
No, they weren't Sephardic. That was yet another thing.
It was the North African.
North African, yeah. But I mean, it's just it's kind of interesting that the whole thing. I think that the idea of creating Israel on the part of the UN was a badly conceived idea. It was trying to just get a problem off their hands because they didn't want anything to do with it, you know. And I just think that huh? What was that you, Ray?
Living there, yeah, it was totally disrespectful to the people living there.
Yeah, people.
It treated them as though they were less than human. It's just like, okay, we're going to stick this state here, and we don't care what you think.
Well, you got to realize that what happened was you had people that were living there who were literally pushed out of their homes and pushed out into the desert because the Jews were moving in, and that's going to cause dissension. I'm sorry, no matter. And so it was the idea that was created. I think was created basically by people who were anti-Semitic. And when I say anti-Semitic, not only anti-Jewish, but anti-Islamic, because they're Semitic people as well, who were anti-Semitic and didn't care what kind of an answer they came up with, just as long as they got them out of their hair.
You know, the Jews that were in Jerusalem back in 1912, 1918, and even through the World War II, because of the British rule in what's now Israel, the Palestine, that they created something called a Grand Mufti, and the Mufti aligned himself with Nazi Germany.
You're reading this, aren't you, Phil? You're reading this, aren't you?
I read a book.
Sure.
I read a book.
That was the one you read?
Well, one of them. Al Husseini was the Mufti of Jerusalem, and what happened was they decided that even in the 20s that they were going to stab. They had a whole reign of terror where they would just stab Jews. They would just come up to them and stab them.
If I'm not mistaken, when was Balfour spouting his chops in Israel?
1924.
1924.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. I was going to say 1920s. But,
yeah. Balfour certainly stirred up the pot.
Well, and that was done in the UN. No. Yeah,
there wasn't a UN back then.
It wasn't. Whatever the one was that was established after World War I, League of Nations.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that, I mean, this sounds like a very Goyim idea on how to solve a very complex Semitic problem, and I just think that if we were going to give the Jews a homeland, what is all that noise? Is that you, Ray?
That's me. Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll stop it.
Anyway, what was the point I was trying to make there? That it was a bunch of white people making a decision on what Semitic people should have as an answer to a problem. Yeah.
Even after the creation of Israel,
there
was a part of the land which was still Palestine, right?
Right.
So let's imagine, 1948, two of those nations came into being, right? Palestine and Israel.
Yeah.
Where do they stand right now?
One state.
Which one is where? Palestine doesn't even have any identity, and Israel pretty much, if you think about it, the developments that they have done, see, I can speak from the point of view, similar thing happened in 1947 and 1948. After 250 years of British oppression, India and Pakistan was divided on the same basis of religion.
Right.
After 70 years, where do you see India and where do you see Pakistan? One is a developing nation, billionaires and people, creative people coming out of it, scientists and doctors and engineers and IT guys. And the other place is known as one of the worst places, terrorist places in the world. Same day. It's like two brothers, twins born on the same day. What is it that prevented one from overtaking the other, or at least be at par with the other?
When Israel was created, they wanted a two-state. The Palestinian was offered land, Israel was offered land, and the Palestinians turned it down.
Yeah.
They didn't want the Israelis or the Jews to have anything.
Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about, Alex. It's like,
Wait a second.
Priorities are different. The way the whole generation is brought up is different. You're taught to hate your neighbor rather than, make something out of yourself and get out of here. These are the things that, it's how.
And there's been two generations in Saudi Arabia. There's been two generations of Wahhabi teachings that teach hate.
Yes, completely brainwashed. Alex, completely brainwashed. You have no idea what goes on in there. And, go ahead.
Let me ask, we have a bunch of people here who haven't been saying a word. Now, I
think they're just listening.
Either they are just listening or they're not interested.
Okay.
So I want to know what it is. Charlie, are you interested in this, or when you hear about this?
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know much more before the '67 war. That's when I became aware of Israel and the problems that they were having in the Middle East. I was only 17 at the time. So, I don't know all this stuff about Balfour and all of that. This is interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot.
Okay. So how about you, Vernon? How do you feel about this subject? I mean, do you care about it?
Only from the standpoint of how it impacts the world, because today it seems that there's an equivalency between the nation of Israel and the Jewish people. And I find that really strange that you can't separate the two. Why not?
You can't separate what two? The
nation of Israel and the Jewish people.
I separate them. Absolutely, and I separate them. And the thing that bothers me about a Jewish state, okay, if they called it the Zionist state, okay, fine, you know, but they call it the Jewish state, and that then attaches itself to my beliefs and to my religion. And I don't particularly like that, because Israel, whether you like it or not, is a political entity. It is not a religious entity. It is a religious entity that has as its primary people in it Jews. But if you call it the Jewish state, let's say tomorrow, just for grins here. Wait a minute, let me finish. Let me finish. If tomorrow he went to I'm just trying to get Ray on. You know, there's so much I have to do here now that it's just annoying the shit out of me. There we go. Is Ray in now? Let me see here. Let me see. Well, I have to find out what's your name now from what you've signed.
It should be Goomba.
Oh, Ray Renati. There it is. Okay.
The Goomba.
No, it's Ray Renati. There we are. And now I've got to take you and make you smaller. And bring you down, and everybody else gets small. All these things happen as soon as somebody comes on. Oh, fuck.
Boy.
This really is.
Now, the Vatican is the Catholic state. And
yeah, but it's only a couple of, how many square miles is it, Phil? It's not really a state. It's not
quantity, it's quality.
No, it's not a it's not a political state, okay? It's not it really doesn't have a lot of political clout.
Yes, but Israel was formed to be a Jewish state. The idea was, you know, in this country, we have a separation of church and state. In Israel, it's a Jewish state.
But I don't like it being a Jewish state, Phil, because my religion happens to be being Jewish, and it's attaching itself to my beliefs. And I don't think that my beliefs should be associated with the political beliefs of a political institution like Israel.
Then don't go there.
Well, no, but you don't understand. You don't get what I'm trying to say, Phil.
Let me. Okay. David on the front of tanks.
Let me just say for grins, okay? Right. Just for grins, all right? That Israel tomorrow decides to attack the United States. Let's just say that, and because it's a political entity, it could do that. I mean, it probably won't. It's probably not in the cards. But let's say they did. Okay, what side are you going to be on, Phil? And also, what's going to happen to every Jew? What's going to happen to every Jew in America? Are we going to be treated like the Japanese during World War II?
Because the Israelis would win. So
No. Come on, Phil. We're not joking here. I'm trying.
I think I'd have a pretty good.
Don't you understand what I'm saying about I can't back a political entity naming itself as part of my religion? You know,
you don't respect or want the state of Israel, and so therefore you don't want to give it any power through your religion, and that's how you feel about it. But you know, really, if you read that book, I just looked it up again. It's The Icon of Evil: Hitler's Mufti and the Rise of Radical Islam.
Yeah,
it was really. It was written from a very neutral perspective, but it was very historical and helped me understand exactly how radical Islam has risen and why it's become what it is.
Let me see here. We've also been joined. Well, who just joined me? Jason, but I can't find him. Hold on a second. Oh, fuck.
My hand's up, just so you know.
I know, but I'm having trouble finding you.
So you can see you.
No, that has nothing to do with it. I can't find.
So while you're looking for me, can I say something real quick?
Well, they can't see you. That's the problem.
I don't. Yeah, they can hear me though.
Yeah, they can hear you. Yeah.
I can see you.
So can I say to Phil, Phil, just imagine I break into your house, and I rape your wife, or your girlfriend. Sorry, she's not your wife. And then I want to build a wall and say that you can't come over here because this is mine now. That's the way that the Israeli has.
To the victor goes the spoils.
Okay, so is that right though?
It's just the way it is.
It's the way it is. So, put away your gun then and let people break into your house and rape your girlfriend.
Well, no, you don't have to put away your gun. The idea is if you stand up like the Israelis are standing up against aggression.
They're the invaders.
They're not the invaders.
Yes, they are. They're white people who invaded.
They're not white either.
Israelis are not white.
They're not white.
Israelis aren't white?
No.
They look pretty damn white to me.
There are Jewish
There's
people.
Semitic
Can I ask a question to Jason? What does it matter their skin color?
Okay, let me just say that's Tony. That's Tony. That's Tony. Hold on, that's Tony, and you can't see him. Okay, because I basically. Yeah. Go ahead. Anyway, as you were saying.
When you invade a land and you are different than the people you are invading, that's what it's not necessarily about being white or a different,
Well, you mentioned white. That's
because they are white. If you look at their DNA shows them from being from Europe or from America. They're different than the people's land that they invaded, just like the Europeans that invaded, America.
A lot of people emigrated to Israel after the war, and even after World War I. And many of these were Russian and German and Austrian, but there was a large contingent of Jews living in Palestine at the time that the Ottoman Empire fell to the English, and they and the French, and they split it up. I mean, they were the victors. It was the Ottoman Empire controlled those areas. Do you think that the Palestinians had any rights then either? They didn't. It was the Turks that ruled that area, and when Turkey fell because of their alliance, I think it was with the Nazis, that the English divided the area, just like the Russians and the Americans divided Berlin. It's just to the victor goes the spoils, and that's what happened.
But I guess that's maybe something during modern history time, and
the Ottoman Empire fell in the 1920s.
They 19. Come on, that's modern day.
Yes, it's modern day.
It's just a little ridiculous to go in there and invade a certain country and do a genocide and wipe out people and displace people.
The only people ridiculous. That got wiped out was the Jews that were living there. They weren't allowed to protect themselves. They weren't allowed to have guns. The British
replaced them with the white Jews.
Nobody got replaced. They were just added to. It's not a matter of skin color.
But it is, Phil. There were Jewish people there originally because Judaism did originate in that area. But your ancestral Jewish is not from that area.
Mine?
Just because the religion spread to your DNA ancestors doesn't give you a right to that landmass. Doesn't give you a right to displace people who are already living there.
It wasn't the Jews that displaced them. It was Israel? The Turks and then the English. So who are you blaming? Why are you blaming the
Jews that came back to Israel, Phil, had left Israel for 2,000 years. Okay, that's like coming back 2,000 years later and saying, "Move out of my house because I'm coming back home now."
No, but over the last 6,000 years, the land and the possession of it has changed many times,
but usually by people who are the same DNA and actually were probably cousins, just had different religions.
Okay, so
but were native to that area. not some other continent that
so
came
you're
in
saying,
and invaded the area.
You're saying that the Mexicans, because they were invaded in Texas, should be given back Texas and Arizona and California.
Maybe.
No, I'm saying all
maybe.
of North America and South America, not just.
You're not just going to settle for that. You want Canada too?
Yeah, but if that's the case,
if you were to go back in time, people in Canada were not white; they were tan.
But if that's the case, the Indians should be ruling all of us.
By the way, just for people who
the Indians should be in India where they were from.
Land and killed them.
For people who are watching right now,
in this country weren't from India.
Can I say something for some?
We're not.
Hey, can you people hear me? I'm trying to say something. For people who are listening or watching this, the reason you can only hear Tony but not see him is we only have room for 8 pictures. We have room for 25 people, but only 8 pictures, and he's not one of them. You want to try
the third row?
No.
All right.
No. I don't.
Okay, because you have enough people now to do it.
Yeah, but it's so much trouble for me just to keep these rows going, Phil.
Yeah, but this is the experimental show.
Well, it's exhausting for me. If these pictures wouldn't get smaller, my life would be a hell of a lot better. Yeah.
I see Tony, but I don't see Jason.
I'm sorry.
Well, you don't see Jason because you have to pull Jason down into your picture, I think, is the way you do it, or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about on YouTube
Jason.
or Skype?
Yeah.
On YouTube, I don't see Tony, but I see him on Skype.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I see Jeff, and I see Chris. I see and there's Jason. I see Jason down there.
I'm looking at YouTube. I see me.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay. I pulled Jason down to one of the squares, and now I see him.
YouTube is no longer a representation of what you see on Skype like it used to be.
Yeah.
It was exactly what you saw on Skype before. This is my own thing being put together to, bring all the pictures of everybody in. And
were you just screwing around with the size of pictures on YouTube?
No.
20 seconds ago?
No. What happened was somebody got small, and I had to make them big again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phil, he wasn't screwing around with the size. Your penis is that small.
It's still that small. Yeah. So, hey, Josh, what do you think about all of this? Although it doesn't have to do with American law and so on and jurisprudence, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't mind the conversation. I'm not. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not really anti-Israel. But They do a lot of stuff that rubs me wrong, I mean, I don't really like the way some of the conversations tended to act like the Palestinians were just, fucking heathens or whatever. I mean, they were kind of wronged. I mean, they got a right to be pissed off. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, when you fuck people at everything they've ever owned and everything they're going to ever own and they get fucking mad, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, but I'm not really worried about it because it can't be more than another 15 or 20 minutes and Jared Kushner have this fucking problem ironed out. Everything be fine.
They're talking about they're talking about for blacks in America that many people are saying that they should pay not retribution, reparations. And so I think that the Egyptians should pay reparations to the Jews for building the pyramids. I mean,
but Phil, if you look at history and actual physical history instead of just what was written down in one book, they say that there is no evidence of enslavement of building the pyramids.
Then why did they have to escape?
Because you're reading.
Because they had to make a movie, Phil.
Because the Dead Sea Scrolls.
That good of
Jason. I'm sorry, the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were
written down
in a cave for 5,000 years, confirmed these stories.
Phil, you cannot get slaves to be that good of engineers.
They are if they're Jewish.
If you look at history, the Jewish were actually a tribe that was hired hitmen that did build the pyramids because they were hired to do it and they were being paid to do it. And then they actually paid the other Egyptians to come in and serve their time, to build the pyramids. They weren't enslaved.
You were in that union?
Yes, they were probably unionized jobs. That's why they did such good work, and that's why the buildings are still around.
Yeah, that union is now 18.
Sure, they had to be unionized.
Right.
Non-union work doesn't last that long.
The shit work in the city falls right down non-union.
Yes. Jeff's been quiet tonight. Let's hear from Jeff.
Well, it's a very interesting discussion, and I've got pluses and minuses on this whole experience. First thing I'm going to ask is, anybody ever been to Israel?
No, I
have.
I've been there
twice. My daughter has.
Yeah, I've been there twice. Mostly, of all things, on a business thing, but I was working with Israeli people, and some of them were just very nice, easy-going people who were trying to keep the land of Israel happy. Let's say that. And yet, there was a bunch of other people who had a very angry life that they were angry with. And because a lot of people got killed from these little wars.
Yeah.
Since 1948. And a lot of them got killed, and their family got killed, or they got shot, or whatever, and that doesn't go away very easily. The other part is, as far as whether or not the people who, my family came from Hungary or something like that, does that mean that they're not white people, or they are white people, or the people who are, and there's a lot of people that we met who lived in Israel their whole life. They never lived anywhere else, but they still look like white people, if you want to call us white people. Okay. So
bigger question: if they came from Hungary, did you feed them?
Yeah, that was from hunger.
Yeah, I know, and sometimes very little. But anyway. A lot of people that I knew from my family and whatever, after World War I, they left the country and were able to come to the United States. Some of them went to England before that. But going to Israel was not particularly a great opportunity, put it that way, when it was Palestine. But after World War II, there happened to be, 6,000 people who decided not to go anywhere because they were killed. They were dead.
6 million.
So they didn't have a choice.
6 million.
6 million. But there was still a substantial number of people in Europe who were Jewish.
Yeah, but what I could never figure out, Jeff.
Stay in Europe.
Jeff, what I could never figure out. Boy, these pictures keep changing size, and it's just pissing me off. If it just changed them on my preview, that's one thing, but it changes them over there on the main picture as well when it does that. So I've got to go online and figure this thing out. But anyway, it's wearing me out. The thing that always got me about the whole Israel thing was, yes, the Jews probably deserved a homeland. They deserve some kind of reparations for the war, but not from a people who didn't war against them. And that's what, in fact, was allowed to happen. The fact of the matter is that they should have been given part of Germany. They should have been made their homeland Germany. It would have been a place they were far more comfortable being, but somehow they wanted out of there, and they wanted to go down to this place called Israel because Theodor Herzl for years had been proclaiming, the Zionists, it was a back to Israel movement. And that was the political movement that forced this thing to happen, this decision to happen. So, you know,
but nobody wanted to go back to Germany or to stay in Germany.
Well, nobody
Poland. I mean, there aren't any Jews in Poland.
But still, from a purely logical standpoint, wouldn't that have been the place to make the Jewish homeland? You know,
yes,
and that would have been an occupation. That would have been an occupation too. You know, the Palestinians had aligned themselves with Nazi Germany. If you read The Icon of Evil and the Hitler's Mufti, and you'll better understand how the Palestinians actually aligned themselves with the Nazis and tried to get Hitler to have a second Holocaust in Jerusalem, in Palestine.
Yeah, sure. I'll read that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, their main want is just purely to have a religious state. You know, I mean in that particular place, I mean, it was probably not a good idea, as Jeff said earlier. You know, it's no secret the Jews were a pretty wronged people. You know, wrong people tend to become or stay angry. And then you move them into an area where you vacate other people, as I said a minute ago, and you make them angry. So whose fucking idea it was to just put a bunch of fucking mad people living, you know, on top of each other? I mean, that's not a good idea. I mean,
no air conditioning.
You know, and it's right. I mean, there's not enough water, and it's really hot. You know, and everybody's mad. So let's let them all live together. I mean, that's not a very, you know, sensible idea. But I mean, it's purely about that religious state and in that land, because as you said last night, I mean, I don't remember the square mileage of Israel, but certainly we could give them, you know, a great big, part of North and South Dakota, and they could live there in peace for the rest of their life, and no one would ever lob a missile at them ever again. But I guarantee if we offered it to them, they'd say no.
And the Indians on those reservations would be pissed off.
Oh,
they're not Indians.
Can't be that goddamn hard.
Jeff wants to say something. Can you see his?
Yeah, I can see his hand up. Jeff?
You're muted.
Jeff? Who's muted? Oh, Jeff, you're muted.
Sorry.
Hey, we have 12.
I know we have 12. I'm trying to make room for them now, and I don't have the time to do it here.
No. I think, Josh, I think you have a good perspective. But the one thing is nobody wanted to take those Jews to North Dakota, to anywhere.
In New Jersey.
Nobody wanted them. They wouldn't let you in.
There was a barges.
After World War II, they would not let people in.
Roosevelt wouldn't let a couple of barges full of Jews that had come over from the concentration camps. They were off the coast of New Jersey, and they wouldn't let them in. They turned them away.
Yep. Anne Frank was among them.
She was
wasn't.
dead.
She was stuck in the attic.
Yeah, they killed her early on.
Never mind. I'll look it up.
Jeff is right, though. I mean, the anti-Semitism did not end with the war. I mean, you know, it's probably basically just as bad in the hearts and minds of many people as it was then. You know, I mean, the end of the war didn't mark the end of anti-Semitism. I mean, he's exactly correct. No one would really take the Jewish refugees after the war. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I still argue if they were offered land somewhere else today and guaranteed that they could live in peace for the rest of their life, I still don't think that they would take it.
No, they take Beverly Hills.
I really don't.
You know, you keep making jokes, Phil. This isn't time to joke.
No. Why not?
Huh? Because it's not funny, Phil. The jokes you're pulling are not funny.
He says they wouldn't take it.
Just get better writers.
You know, the American Jews don't
even
really support the Israelis. I mean, there are some, they give money, but, you know, when it really comes right down to it, I don't know. Are they afraid? Are they afraid to stand up?
Why don't we call
don't
the
understand
American
them.
Jews Indians? Because they're closer to India than the Native Americans were.
You got a hard on for Indians.
Because
Did
what?
they
You
take
keep on
Mexico?
calling them Indians. They
Oh,
didn't
you know
land in
why?
India.
Because
It's not India.
The Indians invaded Mexico.
Learn your history.
It was the Spanish that invaded Mexico. Actually, you got a hard on with the Spanish for impregnating all the Indians that were down there.
I do, but India was a different fucking continent. Why do you keep on calling Native Americans Indians? Learn your fucking history.
Yeah,
All of America needs to fucking learn that shit.
Oh, okay.
Like the Cleveland
Cochise
Native
wasn't an
Americans.
Indian? You know.
What about Redskins?
Your computer plugged in.
Hey,
I like
Sibby, can you say that?
I said it. Washington.
No, Sibby. He's the one that knows how to fix computers.
Good.
I know how to fix computers too. Just send me your IP address.
And your credit cards.
From the IRS.
Bree, are you there?
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm not
Okay,
getting
no camera on
your
Bree, just picture.
Oh, Bree doesn't have a camera up. Okay, then we don't have to put his picture in there.
And Vernon, I don't think has his camera on that.
I think Vernon. No, I guess no. He has. Wait a minute. Yeah, he has his camera.
I don't see a picture.
I don't see a picture of Vernon.
Well, I have him here.
Oh.
Right, Vernon, you there? Maybe he's frozen.
Yeah.
Could that be?
Yeah, I'm just seeing his icon.
Kevin, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. What name do you use, by the way, online?
Kevin.
Kevin. I'm not sure. I'm on my iPad, so it could be different.
Yeah.
Big Stud 1.
I'm showing his name.
Big Stud 111.
Okay, here we go. There we go. I got him. Okay.
So under his bubble, that's Kevin Stock.
I have him here finally. Wait a minute. This is just too much work for me. I need to have a person who literally is an engineer, runs this program, instead of me doing it. But there's Kevin. We got him.
I was watching.
I got rid of Vernon because Vernon obviously either wasn't there or is frozen or something like that. So
yeah, when I watched, it looked like there was only 9 on, and then I thought, oh, I'll be the 10th. Now I'm looking, there's only 4 on the screen and plus 5 and 3 bubbles. So I don't know.
Yeah, but on YouTube there can only be 9. Otherwise, he has to resize.
I don't know.
No, wait a minute. We are now. We now have 9 people here. On
YouTube.
Huh?
9 on YouTube. 4 and 5.
I found 11.
I've got 9 on YouTube.
And we have 11 without Vernon.
12.
Yeah.
Well, 12 with Vernon's icon.
Yeah. And Bree, are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah, but you didn't turn on your camera, did you?
Just waking up.
Oh, you're just waking up. Okay. Well, then we won't leave a square for you. I don't have to go to work on that. Okay.
He has to put on his makeup before I can turn his camera on.
Yeah.
Gotta have coffee first.
Bedhead.
Now I could add one more person, and that would fill it up. Is there anybody that I'm not mentioning? No, we got Kevin.
You already have 9 on the YouTube screen.
Yeah, I have 9 on the YouTube screen.
Right.
Isn't this incredible, folks?
So we have Beyond the Royal Flush tonight.
What do you mean we have Beyond a Royal Flush?
Royal Flush is 11.
Royal Flush is 11. Yeah.
Yeah. We had 12.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now I can have my picture be real big. I mean, I just think that this is a problem which has lasted for such a long time, and I happen to agree with Jason. I mean, somebody is being used. What according to according to
Sibby.
No, according to Jack Bishop, I have reverb. No, I don't have.
I don't hear.
No, you don't have
hear it
reverb
on here, but
You don't hear any reverb.
we're not watching.
But you got a little bit of compression, a good compression.
I mean, here's the reverb here's the reverb if you want it. There we go, Jack. But that's not. I don't have reverb.
Everybody's picture's real sharp tonight.
Would somebody listen to the audio going out and just make sure for me that we're not getting reverb? You know.
I washed my hair today. That's why.
You washed your hair, and that's why we have reverb. I see.
Oh, that's why we have good pictures.
Yeah. You are getting reverb. That's what he said. Anybody trying to listen to us at all? Jason is. Oh, Jason is. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. I got it. God, people's. This whole problem with trying to get all these people. Have we got reverb at all there?
The only thing I can hear, I listened to YouTube for a quick second, and it did sound like a little bit of you're doing the echo thing or something, but it didn't sound bad at all.
Well,
not like it was bouncing back.
I don't know why we would have. Oh, I know why we have reverb. Hold on a second. I can get rid of it. There we go. There we go.
There's no reverb going out on the YouTube. There's no reverb.
There's no reverb on YouTube?
No.
Oh, okay. No. That's then we have no reverb going out on YouTube. You don't hear any reverb, Phil?
No, I was listening to Jason and you and there was no reverb, but somebody else just wrote on the YouTube thing and said that there was reverb on the panel participants, but I didn't hear that.
Well, listen and see what you hear.
All right.
There's none now, but there was a little bit ago.
Okay.
There was an echo.
There was an
echo.
echo.
A reverb. It's more echo.
Huh. Well, I don't.
It's kind of what a reverb is.
Now.
I don't know why.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
The second that you said that I know what's going on here, I can get rid of it now. You got rid of it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
fine.
We learn something every day. What it was is that I have all these different sources that are going in here separately. Each picture you see is a separate picture. One of them was turned up. And so what it was doing was it was apparently was creating a audio thing. So
and it wasn't bad. It sounded like you had your echo on or a little bit. You know?
Yeah. But you say it's not there now. You don't hear it at all.
As soon as I said that and you said, "Oh, I think I got it," I heard it go away.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
So you're making room for what? 2 more participants?
No.
Why did it go to the small pictures all the way across?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what we did, and here I am constantly trying to get people the right size. Kevin's smaller again. There we go. Got him bigger.
So you need somebody to operate your board.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You need an intern, Alex. Why can't you get an intern?
You know,
you should.
Yeah, sure. It's what you call slave labor. You know,
indentured servitude.
Yeah, Jews are.
Get some young kid in your apartment at this late at night. He's not going to take advantage of your wife.
Well, I wish he would actually.
Hey, can I be your intern?
Yeah, sure.
The moment you give it up to someone else, you'll forget it.
Yeah.
So is that why, Jason, your wife won't let you on this more than once every 2 weeks?
You know, that's the funny thing. Like, it does bug me a little bit once in a while, but I can't stay up this late. You know, I'm
feeling.
I wish I was in your time zone, Phil. Like, I'd be on here every night, but it's so late for me. I just can't do it.
Well, the show's over at 9, and I'm like in bed at 9:05.
You have to get quit your job.
Yeah, right.
Well, it'd be a job if I actually got paid, a reasonable salary once in a while.
I don't know why these things suddenly jump into different sizes. It's just not making any sense to me. Look, I mean, look at what's happened here. We got somebody who's
you have
smaller.
10 on the screen.
Yeah, I know, but this is getting ridiculous.
Who cares?
Well, no, but I've got to make it look good, you know?
Is there any chance that the size...
I only listen to the audio.
The size matters?
No, is there any chance that the size changes when the audio levels change on the people that are talking, that it has some relation between the audio and the picture?
Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, but it could be, you know. But then again, Kevin didn't say anything for a while there, and his picture got bigger. So, you know. I give up.
No, I'm looking at YouTube right now. Looks fine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it changes.
But it
who cares?
it changes.
Good.
Yeah, there we go again. Here we go again. We're smaller again.
Ray wants to say something.
Yeah.
Oh, I told my son the other day what the problem you're having with this, and he said try Discord. I don't know.
I know about Discord. No, they to begin with, Discord only works for. Here's Kevin again. Discord only works for. I think iPhones. Okay, it doesn't work for. It wouldn't work here. Okay.
Okay.
So much for Discord. You know, everybody says, "Oh, try this, try that."
Here it says web, Android, iOS, Mac, and Windows. Looking at the latest version of Discord.
Every time you talk, you get smaller. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just looked at YouTube. Looked fine to me. So
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know, but look, like Kevin, Josh just got bigger. You know, I mean,
look at it for 15 seconds or 20 seconds after.
That's because somebody was rubbing this picture.
Yeah.
I guess. You know, I mean, what's the problem here? Oh, Kevin's calling again. Kevin, what's your problem?
I don't know. I don't see how he's calling. He's still on the YouTube.
There he is. There he
is.
Just
popped in.
Yep, he just popped in.
Yes.
Yeah.
They say
Maybe
they
it's
can allow
the thing
50 people now on a Skype call.
Huh? What?
50 people.
Really?
No, you can only do 25.
Jeff, you're muted if you're trying to talk.
But maybe you can fit all 25 on the screen. If you really want to have a heart attack.
Yeah. But anyway, so.
I think Jeff was trying to say something.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Jeff.
No.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I thought you had your finger up.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, he was going like that.
Yes, Kevin? Kevin, do you have something you want to say?
Kevin's muted.
Yeah, Kevin's muted.
Still muted.
Unmute Kevin.
No, he's out.
No.
I don't think he can.
Can't.
He can't unmute himself?
No, is that?
No, boy. This new Skype is wonderful.
I think he's saying every time somebody's talking, he feels the vibration in his back.
And then he didn't need that unit.
I would just like some night where I don't have to sit here constantly resizing these screens. You know?
Teach your wife how to do
something to do, Alex.
Huh?
Teach your wife how to do it.
Something to do.
Yeah, but you know, when I'd like to have a discussion with everybody, but unfortunately I can't because I'm dealing with this bullshit. You know.
Hey, Alex, the new version of Discord works on everything.
But it's not very good. It doesn't do what I need it to do.
Oh, I got you.
You know, I've tried it. I've tried everything that they have out there. You know, looking for something better than Skype, and I can't find it. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, if I have to spend a whole show constantly rearranging these pictures, I mean, if I went and put these pictures in there and then they just stayed there, but they keep changing size all the time.
Well,
you know.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why.
Because they get excited.
They get excited, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that'll be a good question for NDI, because I'm sure that they don't want it to change size either.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be some sort of command or some sort of fix that allows you to hold size.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I've looked at their program. I've looked at all the options, and there's no option that says hold in place, lock picture, whatever.
Well, maybe they need to know that.
Whatever. Yeah.
They might be able to do a correction.
Yeah. So let's see here. In the 15 minutes we've got left, how do you feel about about Bill Barr saying that he's not going to release the Mueller report until mid-April? I mean, why?
It's a conspiracy.
Yes, it is.
He claims it. He claims it's because he has to take out the grand jury information.
And also ongoing prosecutions.
But
there are prosecutions.
Hold on a second. Shut up, Phil. You don't have the answer to everything.
I do.
The fact is that this information, to begin with, this information that has to be redacted, they could do that in a matter of days. Okay, they don't have. This doesn't take until the middle of April. Secondly, in every other report, and this includes the one that was done about Clinton, and there were a couple of others over the years, they immediately handed the reports to the Congress, who then sealed them. Let me finish, Phil. Do you always have to have a word you put in? God damn it! Now I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead, Phil. What you had to say was so important that
I'll give you your cue. They always sent it to Congress.
And they always sent it to Congress, and Congress put it in vaults. There are still things in congressional vaults that have never been released from other reports like this. They've been very good at keeping them there. They could have just handed it over to them and said, okay, release what you feel you can release. All right, but they didn't.
Do you feel that Adam Schiff would actually keep his mouth shut? The guy for the last 2 years has been spewing false information, treason, sedition, and if you put this information in the hands of that leaker, it would be out to New York Times in 5 seconds.
He hasn't leaked anything.
Yeah, he's spread false news for 2 years.
No, he hasn't.
You know what? You just listen to Trump, and then you spew out whatever Trump says. You don't have. I wish you had a mind of your own.
I do, but you have to get your info. I don't live in Washington D.C. You have to get your information from other people. And if that's not having a mind of your own, then don't watch the news, I guess. Where else are you going to get the information?
Some of the facts. We know about the collusion. He admitted the collusion.
There was no collusion.
Phil, answer me a simple little question. I defy you to try and answer this. Why, if there was no collusion, were so many people thrown in jail for things like lying to the committees and lying before Congress if somebody wasn't trying to protect that asshole in the White House?
It wasn't due to collusion. It was due to their illegal and illicit transactions.
Jason?
So I just have a question, because maybe I'm not sure on my definitions. Is it collusion or not when your son-in-law actually has a meeting with Russians to try to get dirt on the opponent?
They found that was not.
He admitted it.
He admitted it.
I don't think so. The Mueller investigation didn't uncover.
I saw his
between the Trump campaign or Donald Trump. Now, these people came in, said that they were meeting about one thing, and the meeting was called off as soon as they introduced something else. So,
the meeting was called off when they actually.
The Russians tried to create a situation where they could manipulate, but just because the Russians were attacking us doesn't necessarily mean that the Trump administration.
They saw an easy target in Trump.
No, it doesn't mean that the Trump administration or the Trump team had anything to do with it other than having them try. They didn't collude with them. They didn't do anything. They didn't even get the WikiLeaks things.
How do you know?
Something because
How do you know?
How do you know?
This is what has
So-
been.
No one's seen the report.
I saw the report.
No, you didn't.
Did Trump read it?
Well, all
Trump
we
said,
want to
"I'm
do is
reading
we want to see the report so we can decide for ourselves.
Right. But there are other ongoing investigations that went out to other things like the Southern District. And
Yes,
so forth
and
that
correct,
would
and
be
those things,
compromised
and
if
those,
they didn't redact.
and so redact those. But you
Well,
know,
that's what they're gonna do,
You know,
and-
what,
and
but
by
it's going to take
April-
how it's going to take them this long. I bet it's been these
2 weeks.
I bet they have a redacted version of the Mueller report already. That it was. It was.
weeks.
Wait a minute. Let me. Well, no, 2 weeks is too long, Phil. We want now. We don't want
Yeah.
this thing to be washed under the because Bill Barr is hoping that in 2 weeks America has a short memory and will forget about this.
I don't think that the Democratic Congress is going to forget about it, and they won't let anyone else forget about it either. You know, I think your fears are unfounded. And if it takes 2 weeks for them to do a thorough job of doing the proper redactions, then that's what it takes.
Well, how much
Might
do you?
come out sooner.
How do we know that what they redact it should be redacted?
Well, because they're our Department of Justice, and you're going to have to trust them.
Oh, bullshit. We have to trust
He was hired by Trump.
It doesn't matter. That's the deal.
Why would
There's a
somebody hired by
separation.
Trump when Trump's
There's
the one
a
who's trying
balance
to
between
get in trouble?
Congress and the judiciary and the administrative.
Well, I think we
part of
learned
government.
an old lesson that's gone around for years, and that is that if you're going to try and kill the king, you had better make sure that that you kill him. If you go after him, because they should have gone after Trump and just politically
the
murdered him.
Democrats' emperor has no clothes.
What?
Oh, you gotta be shitting.
The Democrats'
You think
emperor has
Trump
no
has
clothes.
Who's
You
the
know,
Democrats'
because
emperor?
they're going after something in lockstep, and they have no true information. They've been lying to the American public for the last 2 years, saying that they had proof of collusion, and collusion didn't exist.
Oh, by the way, people who are watching this, this is the best. This is the best thing about this new system. Look what I can do to Phil.
I don't know.
In fact,
He disappears, folks. He disappears.
He's like Casper.
Huh? Yeah.
Casper the ghost. He's gone.
He's back again.
It's going to take 15 or 20 seconds before it goes away.
Before you see that happen. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I just think it all just smells. You know, it just smells. If Clinton had done this during his administration, the Republicans would have gone fucking nuts.
That's
I know.
Clinton was
They
killed.
They went
was
nuts over a
something-
blowjob.
And that was
Or
over a
something, I think-
blowjob.
It was I don't remember what it was, if it was Saturday Night Live or no, it wasn't Saturday Night Live. One comedian or somebody talked about, could you imagine if Obama was caught colluding with Iran to say that I'll give you a better nuclear option if you rig this vote to get me in power? They just they did, it was Jim Jeffries.
Mm-hmm.
All they did is just change some names on some things and did a re-accusing of somebody else. And it's just like, could you imagine what the Republicans would
We're
say?
giving nuclear information to
picture's still
Saudi
there.
Arabia.
Yeah.
When's it going to go away?
I don't know. I don't know how far behind we are. To tell you the truth.
On YouTube, it says that Alex sounds good, but everybody else is echoey. That's what it says. Somebody said on there.
How long ago was that? Because I don't see it here.
I don't know. It doesn't have a timestamp.
The audio is echo and stuff. That was a while ago.
Oh, it was? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But supposedly, So and then he wrote fixed. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was
We
something
have nuclear.
So we had
here.
reverb. Enjoy it, folks. You want reverb? Hell, we'll do it for the rest of the show, okay? All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Reverb for the rest of the show. Can you hear me in reverb?
I don't know how to turn the reverb on mine.
Oh, mine's very simple. Yeah.
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 Can you imagine both you turn your reverb on?
Yeah.
Maybe
Hey,
that
listen, I
correct it
learned
to be normal.
something every day. I mean, I learned the other day that I was having trouble with my audio that I didn't know I had because I had something on this new board. I'm getting tired of the technology. I just wish I had some kid to come in here and just you know, I just sit over there with a looking at the citizens panel, and he could sit here doing all this crap.
Is there a junior college that has a radio station or a radio program?
They wouldn't be there every single night.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I know. I've tried using those people for like when I'm directing a play or whatever, and all of a sudden they don't show up and they don't tell you. Yeah, and it happens every damn time.
Yeah,
I'm trying to use.
Listen, if I suddenly made a lot of money, and I could afford to just hire somebody to come in here and do that, I would rather pay somebody to come in and do that because I know he's going to be reliable. Whereas
Gabnet bucks, and if you ever go public, he can cash them in.
You know.
By the way,
yeah.
Alex.
Yeah. Yes, Bree.
Just you were talking about the nuclear Obama and the nuclear pact with Iran. I don't know if anybody is aware, but the nuclear facilities are going to pop up everywhere here in the UAE and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Built by the North Koreans.
Given the plan, the U.S. has provided all the plans.
No,
well, Saudi Arabia is our buddy. They can do whatever they want.
Still.
Yeah.
I swear, I want to hear Bree say, "Dave, I can't allow that."
I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I can't, Dave. I'm sorry. I love you, Dave.
What was the song you sang at the end of the movie?
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when. But yeah, that was Vera Lynn. She sang that during World War II. It was a big hit in England, and it was a good little song, you know. Anyway, oh boy, I'm telling you, this is exhausting doing it this way. But
only 3 minutes.
Well, what I'm figuring is as the weeks wear on, it will become easier and easier, and maybe I just won't give a shit if things get bigger and smaller. I'll just let it happen and let people live with that. But
it's the price they pay.
I mean, you look at it right now; it looks great on the screen, right?
Yeah.
And
actually,
it looks even better when you're a participant.
It's even better when I'm a participant.
I said it looks even better when you are a participant, as in the caller or somebody listening.
Yeah, yeah.
So you want to see it good?
Really sharp on YouTube.
Yeah, but we got a lot of people watching tonight, so apparently they love the video.
It looks fantastic.
The only thing is, every one of you.
Has anybody posted on YouTube saying how they like the look?
No.
Your Forbin Colossus or somebody?
No. It's just going.
It's
it sounds good, but everyone else is an echo.
Forbin Colossus.
That was earlier.
Yeah, well, forget it. Tell them forget the audio. Just what's the picture look like?
Huh?
Tell them
the audio.
Get commenting on the audio just to find out what the picture looks like.
Anyway,
I only listen on audio.
Right.
That's me too. I go to YouTube.
I never listen on audio.
Yeah.
What if we did it naked night?
I don't watch it.
Well, listen, there's the old theme song, folks. Mm-hmm. But I thank you all for having joined me tonight. Phil, wave, good, hello. Jeff, thank you. Josh, thank you. Charlie, thank you. Phil, thank you. Sibby Itty, thank you for getting a whole big fight going here. Thank you. You made us. Kevin, great to see you again. Jason, lovely to have you here. And what's his name? Tony. Okay, I don't have the names anymore under the pictures, so you
can see them on YouTube.
And then there's me.
I mean, you can see the names on Skype.
You can see them on Skype, but you can't see them on our show. Okay,
well, that's where you'll have to go through
myself.
Anyway, hey, listen, everybody. What I would suggest is you give just a giant wave goodbye to the audience so they can see you. Okay. Okay, and I'll wave goodbye too, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen, the Citizens Panel. Boy, was that work. But we did it. We did a show with the new Skype, and it sucks. It sucks. Don't ever buy a Microsoft product ever again, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, coming up next on Most of the Same Station is the intersection with Jack Bishop. And then let's see here. We're not on till Tuesday. And Tuesday night, starting at 9:30, of course, we have the wonderful and attractive Damian Chaplin with The Exchange. And I'm followed thereby with myself and my entourage, my what we call my citizens panel, and they will all be here. So what the hell, have a good time. In the meantime, I'll be on at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, Tuesday, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.